The wildflower of the prosperous age in the life of the crow. Chapter 1. The noble girl of the troubled world awakens. Outside King Yun City, the yellow sand was all over the sky, and the Hu people's iron horses rushed into the Han land like a tide, and the city wall collapsed. In the palace, a girl dressed in gorgeous clothes woke up. Her name was Tao Qingling, the noble daughter of the Tao family, but she unexpectedly traveled to this dangerous and troubled world. What's even more chilling is that as soon as she crossed, she saw her stepmother Shen Lanyan leave her and flee with her family in embarrassment, leaving her alone in the city. It was one hell of a start. Qingling looked at the chaotic scene around him coldly, and the corners of his mouth were slightly hooked. Crow's mouth skill, activate. Since then, this young girl with the ability to prophesy disasters is determined to survive in the troubled times and try to rewrite her destiny. Underscore 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 un. Chapter 2. The Crisis and Turning Point of the Crow's Beak. Tao Qingling was ostracized and ridiculed by everyone more than once for saying bad things that will happen in the future, and even almost died many times. The words that came out of her mouth seemed to cause disaster and became a disaster star that everyone avoided. However, she also learned to use this cursed talent to detect enemy movements, anticipate moles, and secretly relay information to the Han Chinese resistance. On the eve of an attack by the Hus, she warned the generals defending the city, successfully avoided a surprise attack, and won the trust of a few people. More importantly, Qingling heard that a son of a little thorn who had not yet risen, named Qin Jingyun, would be a key figure in the future prosperity of the Han dynasty. In order to avoid the chaos in front of her, she decided to stand in line early. Underscore 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 un. Chapter 3. Seeking refuge in the son of the assassin. Qin Jingyun was the only heir of the Qin family. He was only 15 years old at the time. He had a calm and far-sighted personality, but his resources were limited, and no one around him could truly understand his ambitions. Tao Qingling approached the Qin family as the daughter of the prophet, and first used his crow's beak skill to predict the crisis that the assassin would face to further gain trust. Qin Jingyun was impressed by her, and the two began to plot how to grow their power in the troubled times. They worked together to design traps, using Tao Qingling's predictability to maneuver between the Hu people and the traitors again and again, and stabilize the foundation of the assassin's mansion. Underscore 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 un. Chapter 4. The dark tide is surging, and the conspiracy is repeated. As Qin Jingyun's power grew, more Han wealthy families and local forces began to covet this land that had not yet been completely swallowed. There are power struggles and betrayals in and around the assassin's house. Shen Lanyan regretted leaving Tao Qingling behind, secretly sent someone to investigate her daughter's whereabouts, and instigated forces to try to win over Qin Jingyun to protect herself. Tao Qingling predicted this secret battle in advance with the crow's beak skill, and she and Qin Jingyun jointly arranged countermeasures, using the enemy's greed to set a trap, and successfully wiped out Shen Lanyan's forces. At the same time, an unexpected foreign force appeared. Helian Feng, an alien young man from the Hu tribe, gradually became interested in Tao Qingling and began to help her secretly. Underscore 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 un. Chapter 5. The love of different races is deep, and the world is alive. Helian Feng was originally a young leader of the Hu tribe, but because he was dissatisfied with the endless war, he secretly formed an alliance with Tao Qingling, trying to seek the possibility of reconciliation and coexistence. This cross-ethnic friendship and secret cooperation was like a ray of light in troubled times, but it also aroused suspicion within the assassin's mansion and the Han armed forces. In the pull of risks and emotions, Tao Qingling began to realize that only by truly breaking down the barriers of ethnic groups can we usher in long-term peace. Underscore 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 un. Chapter 6. The beginning of the prosperous era and the reversal of fate. After years of conquest, Qin Jingyun gradually became a powerful figure who could support the stability of one party, and Tao Qingling also transformed from an abandoned noble girl to a heroine with both wit and courage. In a crucial battle, Tao Qingling's crow's beak predicted the most serious internal rebellion, discovered the betrayer in time, and saved the Qin family and the Han land. The reconciliation between the Hu people and the Han people was further advanced by Helian Feng's efforts, but just as peace was dawning, Tao Qingling unexpectedly revealed a deeper conspiracy. It turned out that the real black hand behind the troubled times was not the Hu people, but the foreign forces who secretly coveted the resources of the Han land. This discovery made her have to rethink her position and future. Chapter 7 The Destiny of Heaven is a battle to break the game. Tao Qingling and Qin Jingyun decided to unite the most elite forces of the Hu and Han clans to fight against the dark forces behind them. The two sides showed unprecedented courage and wisdom in a decisive battle that would determine the future. After the baptism of blood and fire, the troubled times were finally swept away, and a new prosperous era was revealed. Tao Qingling stood in the peaceful morning light, looking into the distance. She knew that the past suffering in her crow's mouth had become the most precious background color of this land. Chapter 8 The Back of the Flowing Clouds, the Dark Tide Surging. At the beginning of the prosperous era, Tao Qingling and Qin Jingyun sat side by side in Qingyun City. On the surface, it is peaceful, but the dark tide is turbulent. There are still remnants behind the foreign black hands, constantly sending assassins and spies to infiltrate. Tao Qingling was keenly aware of the abnormality, and the crow's mouth predicted many future crises and warned Qin Jingyun to take precautions in time. The two mobilized their internal forces to secretly track the enemy's tracks. A mysterious assassin infiltrated the Qin mansion at night, but was captured by Tao Qingling with a clever trick. The assassin, who calls himself Moli, is actually the top killer sent by the enemy, but he has an extraordinary inner struggle. Chapter 9 The Choice of Ink Divorce. Moli is ruthless on the surface, but in fact he is trapped in family grievances and revenge. Tao Qingling used the crow's mouth to foresee his contradictions, and adopted both soft and hard means to gradually approach his mental defense. Unexpectedly, after many contacts, Moli began to identify with Tao Qingling's ideas, and was determined to betray his former master, turn into an intelligence double agent, and serve Qin Jingyun. The addition of Moli has greatly expanded the Qin Mansion intelligence network, but it has also planted more dangerous seeds. Chapter 10 The Spark of Emotion. In the long-term cooperation and getting along, the relationship between Tao Qingling and Qin Jingyun has deepened. The two fought side by side in a raid on the northern border, and they lived and died together. However, Tao Qingling still has a shadow in his heart about the curse of his crow's mouth, and often fears that the disaster that comes true will come again. Qin Jingyun said firmly, "No matter how difficult the road ahead is, I am willing to walk hand in hand with you." The relationship between the two has become a touch of warmth in the troubled times, inspiring them to continue to move forward. Chapter 11 The Truth About the Dark Forces. Through the information obtained by Moli, Tao Qingling and Qin Jingyun revealed a terrifying secret. The mastermind behind the control of the troubled times was a mysterious religious organization from the western regions, the Burning Heart sect. The Burning Heart cult attempted to use the chaos to weaken the Han forces and establish a religious kingdom in Han land in an attempt to dominate the country. Tao Qingling used the crow's beak skill to predict their next move, and the two decided to lead the coalition forces deep behind enemy lines to completely destroy the Burning Heart sect. Chapter 12 A Duel in the Flames. Qin Jingyun led his army deep into the base area of the Burning Heart sect and encountered layers of ambushes. Tao Qingling uses his foreknowledge ability to command his army and avoid deadly traps. On the battlefield, Moli is tasked with assassinating the enemy's top brass and sabotaging the Order's intelligence system. Helian Feng led the Hu warriors to raid from the flank, forming a flank attack. After fierce fighting, the Burning Heart cult finally collapsed, and the troubled times ushered in true peace. Chapter 13 The flowers of the prosperous era are blooming, and the future can be expected. After the war, Qin Jingyun became the leader of a new generation of Han people, and began to rebuild their homeland and promote ethnic integration policies. Tao Qingling became his strongest thinker and beloved. Helian Feng returned to the Hu tribe to promote ethnic reconciliation. Moli reformed and became an important general of the Qin Mansion. Tao Qingling knows that although the curse of her crow's mouth has brought countless disasters, it has also made her a beacon in troubled times, guiding people to the light. The story ends with a grand celebration in Qingyun City, and the troubled times finally turn into prosperity.